Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Here we go. Okay, that's that'll be good right there. Okay. Hit Kickin' Country Z94. It is Wild Bill in the midday, and we have a very special guest in studio today. His name is Lee Burton, and he is running a very, very interesting race coming here in our neck of the woods, House 156. Lee, thank you so much for stopping by Z94.
Thanks, Wild Bill. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm glad to get over here in this area and see all the people.
You have a very competitive primary coming up in May, and tell me a little bit about yourself and where you come from and what you have to bring to this race.
Well, I graduated from Vidalia High School in 1988, and after doing a few different odd jobs, working here and there, went to Georgia Southern for a couple of quarters, realized I wasn't quite happy with working or with school. I decided to join the military and became a Navy SEAL. And after serving our country for a little over 20 years, I had to come home because I had to have neck surgery. It took me out of a commando game, so after that I started trying to get more involved in my local community to make things better here at home. The more I got involved, the more I seen people were kind of upset. They weren't quite happy with their government on the federal or the state level. And, you know, me trying to get people more invigorated and to be part of their government system, I realized they just couldn't get the accessibility I think they deserved and expected from their state representation. And I want to actually change that and give them a choice this time.
You've been spending a great deal of time in Baxley today talking to different people and their concerns. What are some of the big things that come up when we talk about the state of Georgia and how people feel that they're being represented or not being represented?
I think one of the biggest concerns I see as we stand now is unemployment in our area. It's the highest it is in the state. It's over 10%. We know we can't get any kind of growth or any kind of money flowing to anybody unless we have more jobs and more job opportunities in this area. Another one of the concerns I see people have is the way the districts were split up. Right now, Appleton County is cut in half when it comes to representative districts, and across the road over here in Jeff Davis, they're split into thirds. I think a lot of people see that and they start thinking, okay, they're not going to get an equal representation because another county in that district is going to have more pull than they will. But I'd like to let them know that, you know, I want to help everybody in this area. I want to be of the people, from the people, by the people. Get down here and, you know, I live right across the river in Grays Landing, so this is kind of my home, even though went to school in Vidalia. I'm all of Toombs County and all of Montgomery, but I've got that Jeff Davis and the Appleton County part. Once I get in there, I want to represent everybody in this part of Georgia, though, you know, so it's not just one or the other, and I think that's one of the concerns they have. Will they actually have representation? And that's one thing I can do. I can't promise them anything, but to try to protect their constitutional rights and to give them access and try to treat them with the integrity and dignity I think they deserve.
One of the big things that has come up, and it just seems like it's affecting everybody, not just on the national level, but locally here, is healthcare and healthcare premiums going up. Are you hearing a lot of that on the trail?
I hear that in so many different ways. It's not only the amount the money is going to cost businesses to try to provide it, it's also the amount of people that had health care for years that are now losing it. And so this health care bill I see happening isn't really getting the health care expansion. It's actually cutting health care. The people that weren't paying for health care now, and this is something I never understood, even when I was a teenager, you know, high school, and I'd go to the emergency room, I didn't have good insurance, so I just had a bill that would come in until I paid it off, and I thought that was what you were supposed to do. Now people go to the emergency rooms, they don't pay anything off. The people that had insurance now are losing their insurance, or either it's going up to such a high price, they're cheaper to pay a penalty, so they're still going to be uninsured, and it's starting to look more like it's a tax revenue for the federal government to start making more money, yet provide less health care. I think what the states need to do is use a 10th Amendment right to stand up and say, listen, this is an unconstitutional tax and levy. They said it wasn't by the Supreme Court, that it is a tax and it's okay. Well, one of the big issues I have with it is that Obamacare forces people to pay for abortions with their tax money. And I don't think that's something that should be happening in the state. Now, whether you believe in or not for that, that's up to people's choice. But I don't think anybody should be paying taxes to provide funding for abortions. So therefore, I think the 10th Amendment should be put into play and say we nullify the Obamacare Act and let the state start deciding how they want to do anything with their insurance.
When we talk about what's going on in Georgia and especially up in Atlanta, one of the biggest things that has come up recently is the new DACA laws that Barack Obama has used to grant amnesty to certain illegal aliens. And we're also seeing where they're getting Social Security numbers, and they're also being able to get driver's licenses. Is there anything that somebody can do on the state level to correct that?
Yes. First, I'd like to say that for 20 years, I've been fighting overseas to protect the Constitution and defend my homeland, and, I'm proud to have done it. What I never could understand is the whole time I was fighting, we never would secure our borders. Our security of our country doesn't have anything to do with who we let in and who we send out. It's basically we need to start by keeping the gate closed and allowing in who we want. Passing on to that, I think on our state level, we know we spend so much money on illegal aliens, and whether it's in the schools, if it's in the jails being filled up, if it's at the emergency rooms, if it's with the EBT cards, one way or the other, we spend a lot of money, and it's not fair for taxpayers to pay for unaccountable spending. Now, this isn't anything against migrants. I think we absolutely have to have migrant workers. I know I'm not going to go out there and do some of the work that's needed for the price that they can do it for, but I think it needs to be controlled. When I served overseas, I didn't get to bring the whole family. I didn't get to spend Easter and Christmas with my family overseas. I did my job, and then I got to come home. That's the way I think it should be now. We control who comes in here, make sure we don't have criminals, terrorists, psychopaths, and other undesirables. People can come in, do a job, save their money, start proving that they want to abide by our laws, and then maybe give them some kind of way to citizenship and then bring their families in here, because now they've screened like everybody has for so many years as immigrants come into our country. But to say that we're just instantly going to grant amnesty to people that the first thing they've done was broke our laws coming here illegally and then want to take off the system, doesn't want to assimilate to our culture, I think it's wrong to the people that's been waiting in line, and it's wrong to American citizens that's footing the bill.
And you are going to be facing a primary situation. This is not an open seat for 156. You have a primary opponent who's well-funded, who's been in the Congress in Georgia for quite some time. How do you differentiate yourself from him, and what's the battle plan?
I'd like to say the first thing I would do is actually be accessible to the people. And I hope that I don't look to make this a career. I had a career serving our country already, and it's pretty rough. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I get up every morning without some aches and pains and stuff like that, but I absolutely believe in our people and our Constitution, our free markets, the choices we have in this country. And it's, of all the places I've been in the world, it's still the greatest country on earth. So I know people are discouraged right now, but I want to give them some kind of hope that they still have a voice in their government. And I think that's what they've been missing. And again, from federal and state, but right here on the state representative level, there's no reason people don't know who their representative is. And it shouldn't just be a select few that has access to that. It should be everybody in every community should somehow be able to get a hold of their state representative and talk to you. It's a small area. It's home. That's what I want to do. I want to let them know they still got some control of their government.
Lee Burton, he is running for the congressional seat 156 here for the state of Georgia, and we have a primary coming up that is May the 20th, so when you get out there, remember to do your civic duty and get out and vote. Lee, it's been great talking with you today.
Hey, thank you, Wild Bill. It's a pleasure.